What up, Grizz Nation, and welcome to Grizz 901, your number one Memphis Grizzlies postgame show. And it's not even close. Tonight, we have a big one. The Grizzlies beat the Golden State Warriors by 51 points. We're going to get into all of that and much more as we go throughout the night. We're going to break down the game as we always do. We're going to answer a lot of your questions in the comments. If you want to get in here and make sure that we see your question or see your comment, go ahead and hit the super sticker button and put that up for us, because I promise you, we will always make sure we put that the forefront for sure. But tonight we're going to get into that. I have a really, really good Grizz trivia. I've actually done my work and I put in the time and I made sure that we have a good Grizz trivia for tonight. Then we're going to end with the look ahead as we always do. But we're going to have a fun night and we're going to celebrate this win. We're going to smoke the Draymond pack as we get into the show. So let's get to it. Yo, Nate,
sure,
what up, man?
Thanks, Zach. Thanks, Jaren. Thanks, Santi. Sorry, they had to give me my belt back. They just got busy putting it to ass for all night. I'm king of the props now. That's my new name, king of the props.
I like it. So the Grizzlies obviously win. They win big. Was it 144-93? What a great game.
For us. Man, that's another reason they should have put this one on national television.
Ooh, that would have been that would have been really good. It'd been really nice. But the Grizzlies would have looked different if we somehow played on national TV for sure. Right. That would have been bad. But I don't know who this Poipol, whatever.
Poipol.
I like
it. It's like purple nurple. Poipol nopal.
I like it. I'll be upset that Grizzlies if it's not a win by 50. He said this earlier before the show even started. And so shout out to you for joining us, but it was a complete win. It was a win by 51. So just a good night overall. It was a game that the Grizzlies they came out early and completely just kind of won. Like that there was like they wanted to play and win that game. I'm curious your thoughts just overall on if they came out and were making a statement because of maybe what Draymond was saying toward Zach Edey, but also Taylor Jenkins.
I mean, first things first, like let's get into it. Jaren only played 20 minutes, Josh 17, Bane 20. Like, why aren't we playing our guys? Belt to ass, baby. And they came out looking to do it. That was a statement game. Yes. They came out wanting to make a statement. 100% they wanted to do that.
I think so too.
The Warriors didn't play their best basketball. Let's get that out of the way, because I know any Warriors fans that find us, and they typically like to find us. Thanks for supporting the show. They going to be like, hey, well, they played terrible. Steph only had 2 points, whatever. Everybody sucked. Yes. Everyone outside of Andrew Wiggins for them sucked. The Grizzlies made them suck for the most part, but it didn't matter what the Warriors did tonight. It didn't matter if you had prime Steph Curry. The Grizzlies are winning that game. They came out looking to prove something tonight. And I think it says a lot about the team that they're able to. This team has wanted to beat the piss out of teams before, including this Warriors team.
Yeah.
And not them being able to come out and dominate in every facet of the game. That was a statement.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, as a statement, just like Jalen Nelson saying here, Steph, 2 points. All those points, they came off of free throws. Like he literally went 2 of 2 from the line, and that was it. Like he went 0 of 6. I know from 3-point line. I haven't looked at the other numbers, but overall, he did not make a field goal the entire night. Like that is crazy to me. But before we get too far, Nate, I'm going to bring this to your attention because I don't know if you have seen this, but we have an OG amongst our midst. And I just have to say, one, we always celebrate the good guys, right? And I know that's kind of been our motto, but we always celebrate each other. We always celebrate the good things of life. And King Meeks very so kindly says at DG Nate chat, I have some good news. I want to tell everyone. So the good news, been accepted into union for the NBA and social work starting next year. That is incredible. Just overall, this isn't anything to do with the game just in general. This has nothing to do with the Grizzlies. This is family for me and you, but also a lot of people in the chat. So yeah, we might give each other a hard time, and we love kind of the banter back and forth, but always we will celebrate the good things. And so shout out to King Mix for sure.
Yeah. Shout out, King. Congrats, man. That's awesome. That's hard to get into and a lot of work ahead. So shout out to you. Best of luck, brother. That's awesome.
And King Mix, don't suck. All right, so let's go ahead and keep the game moving on. And so obviously tonight was a great game because the Grizzlies did come out, and playing so well in the very beginning. And so your thoughts just overall on Draymond, because we got to get into him. I can't just not go straight to him. So I have to say, Draymond Green, your thoughts?
Dog, he had the Tony Snell, except for he had 4 fouls and a minus 42.
Sheesh. Yeah.
I didn't know it was minus 42. Brother, it was like
19 minutes.
Draymond has always done this thing in the past. 4 turnovers. He had a steal. He's always played head games with his opponent, right? Kind of got them into his headspace where he wanted them. It's almost like he played himself into that tonight. And him and Kerr from the beginning were just, doing what him and Kerr do, which is yell at the refs, complain. Why can't we tackle them? But they can nick our fingernails. So he was doing that, but he sort of is one of those things where the Grizzlies didn't play into it, right? Like him and Edie got into it, but Edie was like, whatever, dude. And then he goes and freaks out on the ref. Nobody played into it except for him. And obviously Steve Kerr. But yeah, man. No Diddy. No one's ass is more raw tonight. Dude, he got pwned everywhere you can get pwned. We talk about people getting donged on this show. The chat loves to talk about people getting donged. That might be it next to it in the Webster's. You just see a photo of him tonight getting swatted by Ja.
Absolutely. I don't know where even to go with this. We have a no Diddy, we have a donged, we have a lot of stuff that's happened.
I said no Diddy at the very beginning. But I will say that was totally without his consent what happened tonight. I mean, that was brother, that was brutal. I mean, he played terrible. Truly terrible. Now
I'm gonna die.
I almost have to say this. I can't believe I have to say it. But fair is fair. Draymond is not as bad at basketball as he was tonight. But Jesus H, he got destroyed.
Yep.
The same thing. Grizzlies came out looking to make a statement, and there was a face on the bullseye of the statement they were trying to make. And they did it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, they did. And overall, the game just kind of as a whole, like they just kept going at them. Like they had the more aggressiveness in general. But Draymond, I think how, and I know every game gets kind of started like this, but Draymond in the very beginning, when he got that moving screen, I believe it was in the first 2 minutes of the game, like that was like, it was truly like epic for the simple fact of like, they never call moving screens on him and he lost his mind. And so it was crazy just overall, but that's enough about the Warriors. That they are struggling, and I know they got off to a hot start, but I thought all that was just kind of fake. By looking at the numbers, and if you look at the deeper numbers and the metrics that was happening, we kind of saw that it was going to kind of slow down a little bit, and so that's what I was seeing, and I think that's kind of all come to fruition at this point. But we'll see. But let's talk about the Grizzlies a little bit. So the Grizzlies obviously win the game 144-93 just overall. I'm going to go to the first guy because this is what everybody's talking about. I see it in the chat. Santi Aldama. First question. Do you think they should extend him or give him any kind of a contract somehow during the season? I don't know if you can. I would assume you can, but is there a way that they could somehow pay him now and give him like a 4-year deal?
Yeah, you should extend him whenever you can. I have been, as much as he pissed me off last year, and he pissed everybody off last year. We're like, dude, we kept saying, got to see it next year, because he's not a guy who's going to be a go-to guy, right? It's all last year we said, as frustrating as it is, We got to see him with the core.
Right.
And you've seen him with the core, and he's awesome.
Yeah.
He had like a one mini cold stretch, and everyone was pissing on him during the cold stretch too, outside of your boy, by the way. But he comes in, and now all of a sudden, look at him. He shows up, man. He's this all the time. And you need that, right? Because you're going to have guys like Ja and Dez who are super, they're going to get superheated. They're going to be down a little bit lower than they should sometimes, right? Him and Jaren both have been the steady force. Even when they're not performing, they're right here all the time. Right. You need that.
And he is on an expiring contract, just so everybody's on the same page. Man, this Thursday night football game is out of control. They just threw another touchdown, so I believe now the Chargers are going up by, I think, 2 or 3. I didn't see the score. But anyway.
You can throw pick six instead, please.
Yeah, crazy game. So if you're watching that with the side eye and listening to this, whatever, cool, man. I will never doubt you for that. If you turn this off and watch that, I get it too. But please hang out with us if you can. Listen, and no hate. I get it. I'm a sports nut, as everybody else is. But Santi Aldama, he's on an expiring contract, and so it says, as Alan's saying, is he's a restricted free agent. Restricted means that they can match. I assume that's how it works, right? So if he's restricted, that means they can match any offer to him.
Right.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But if you can extend him, and I don't know the exact numbers on that, but if you could extend him, I think that works too. I don't know what the number would look like. I would assume it's going to be 10 to 12. I believe we on the $2 Sports Show, I asked this question. I don't remember what day it was, but I think I asked this question, and I think it was Rusty and Drew both said you're looking around 10 or 12 in their opinion. I think that's probably right. But if you can't extend him, I get it. If you can sign him if you match whatever. Yes, as Black and DJ saying, is a restrictor is they can match if somebody offers them, which is good, right? And so they at least have the options. The biggest thing is let's say even if none of that can happen with an extension, right? We always know that we'll have potentially a matching offer, right? But if he's playing this well, I know people have said they don't want to get rid of him even for a trade. I get that. But eventually, him playing well does not hurt you at all. If him playing so well ends up getting you the piece you really need to kind of solidify your roster, great. If he plays so well that you end up being able to give him a new contract in the end of the season, great. I don't think there is no risk or bad risk or reward for this, because you really can benefit no matter what, because I don't see there's any way that they can not match any offer that comes into him unless it's $20 million. At that point, I don't know what you do with that, but I do think they need to figure out a way to extend it if possible.
Yeah. And a lot of people are going to say, hey, like maybe we should use him as a trade piece. And to that, I would say, do not look outside for what can only be found within, which is a 6'11" guy who can drain threes and is getting 14 rebounds in a game. I'd like to keep that, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Art's saying 4 years, 48 would work. The way the money's going, that's kind of a steal at this point. It is what it is. Like, there's nothing you can do if you can't extend him. I don't know. I'll find out that next time for the show and actually look into and see what we can do. Sensei.
That's what I call the guy who taught me how to snowboard. Shout out Schaefer. He's not watching. 0% chance, but shout out anyways.
Yeah, he'll never see this. But Jaren overall 17, 6 and 5. Jalen Wells played a much better game. He was 3 or 4 from deep, 13, 4 and 1. Zach Edey, 8 and 8 and 4 with a
said it all night. I've had Vernon's voice in my head all night.
I swear to God, like I listen to Vernon a lot, and I literally so many things that he does, I catch myself because I don't want to be somebody who mimics somebody else, and like I want to be original. So I listen to very little Memphis media stuff other than Bluff City media stuff, just because I want to be original. My God, I love Vernon. I've loved him forever, and sometimes I say the same thing he says. And I'm just like, God dog it, I can't be him. I'm not trying to mimic him, I promise. But
that
Vernon,
one you can't help.
Zach.
I said it all night long. I can't help it. It's awesome.
Yeah, shout out to Verno, man. He's great. But Ja 9-3-3. No clue what's going on with him. No clue if he is really injured or if it's just like kind of a shot. You're like a bone bruise. Like if that's what it seems to me. I'm not sure though.
At the end of the game, he was up, going over, talking, laughing with Kyle Anderson. I don't think it's anything crazy based off of that. He came back to the bench in uniform. That doesn't always mean anything. But after the game, I mean, he was up kind of like bouncing around with Kyle. I think
No doubt.
he may not play next game, but I don't think it's going to be something serious either.
Yeah, for sure. Real quick, I want to draw attention to this because I love listening to random stories. Gary Parrish is a random story kind of guy. I don't love his show. It's good. It's fine. I'll sometimes turn it on. But anytime he brings up these random stories, today was one of the best random stories. It's usually like it's a true story. But it's like the way he tells it is so it's so I guess infatuating a little bit. But today's story was one of the it was definitely a top 5 of his stories that he's ever told. So if you want to go back and listen to it, it's not something sports related. You can go back and probably find it somehow midway through a show. But King Meeks brought it up. It was super wild and a true story, which is crazy. So go check it out at any time. It's no rush to go see it. But yeah, I'm not saying you got to listen to a show all the time. Just this one little bit. It was fun.
Okay, I believe you.
Sorry, King Meeks saying that. I was like, dude, I was losing my mind listening to it today. It was awesome. But Desmond Bain, 15, 4, and 7. Looked a little bit of the old Desmond Bain, 3 of 5 from deep, 6 and 9 overall. I think that's kind of where he needs to kind of live. But getting the shots off, they were starting to fall for him, which was good. He's not having to get to the basket as much. But I don't want to keep going through all these. But 8 and 10 out of BC, 21, 14 and 4, Aldama, 19, 6 and 3 by Jake. Conchar had 2 threes. Luke Kennard had 15 points, 5 of 7 from deep, which is nutso. And Scottie Pippen, Cam Spencer, everybody played, everybody scored. A great overall win by the Grizz.
Yep, and Dez, that looked like Dez. Now he's had games here and there where he's looked like himself. He just hadn't been able to do it consistently.
Right.
But start to finish tonight, it's one of those games you look up and you're like, man, he only has 15 because he's been crushing it, right? And it's all facets of the game. The assist numbers were huge from him tonight. Love to see that. I think that's probably the most important thing from tonight is Dez looked like himself. Now, can you string them together? Looking like that. That's going to be the big thing with Dez. But look like himself. Jaren got 2 fouls early, finished with 2 fouls. You love to see that from him. The 2 fouls early were terrible.
Stupid fouls.
They're both awful. Didn't end up mattering, but still played really, really well when you factor that he missed basically an entire quarter plus of play. He would have had 17, 6, and 5. It's great from him. Santi continues to impact the game outside of shooting. For anyone who still thinks Santi only brings like a big shooter, he had 14 rebounds tonight, and he's consistently doing things like that.
Shout out Wayno, wherever you are.
Love to see that. Outside of that, there's really 2 guys I want to hit on. First, well, my many thing. For as good as he is offensively, can Scottie Pippen please go work on his free throws? It stresses me out. It seriously stresses me out, man. It's not because it matters, clearly. I'm not mad, but I am afraid. That's one thing. The other 2 main things are really quick. Brandon Clark looks like Brandon Clark, man. You heard Devin and or not Devin, I'm sorry, Pete and Brevin talking about it during the game. He is much more like himself. It really looks like himself. The bounce is there, the activity is there. You love to see that. Drew Kennard is playing really well, but we're not going to hit on him right now. Yeah, exactly. Edie. I want to talk about Edie for a minute because as much as Ja and Wells had Steph in hell on one end, the Warriors had Edie in hell on the other end for a minute. You think that's just probably a guy they were focused on him, and so he got a little sped up? Or do you think that's something that's a real concern?
For Edie, I don't know if it was anything that was negative. I know you said that earlier in our chat, and I didn't see it. The only thing I see with Edie is not that he's getting sped up, He looked fine defensively. I didn't see anything wrong in that. Would you agree? Like defensive, he looked fine.
Yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
so mainly all
Looked
offensive.
good defensively.
Yeah, so all offense. You're saying he sped up. I don't agree with that for the simple fact that I think that he has limitations, and I think he has issues that he has to fix, right? And a lot of it is just like we've always talked about Jaren. Jaren reaching down ever for a ball is bad, right? So
Right.
same thing with Edie. When he receives the ball, if you see him, what he does, he has the I call him gator arms when I played. Like you go down and up, so it's either chest to crotch, like where you have the ball. Like so, if you're like backing somebody up, it's like that. So what happens is the guys that are lower, your strength when you go down with the ball, it actually lessens. And so the reason you're taught old school basketball is to keep it chest high is because you actually lock in your I don't know, your arms, like your muscles, right? And so when you go down, that's when those young, they can swipe down and hit the ball. And so all he has to do is it's little fixes that he'll see on film now. When he goes in, he has to hold the ball into his chest, or he has to hold it one hand away while he's doing whatever he's doing. He has to get the ball elevated. That's it. Besides that, I don't think there's anything issue because I think when you're sped up, I think you're being forced to do stuff you don't want to do. I think that's self-inflicted. In my opinion, I think it's self-inflicted issues.
Yeah, sped up was probably the wrong phrase to use. Almost he needed to speed up.
Probably, yeah.
What it was at.
He's not going fast enough. That is true. When he catches the ball, it's always what am I going to do? Like if he works on a little bit of the fast twitch, which is going to be tough when you're 7, whatever. Like he's got to work early, and if he does the work early, he'll be better.
I think it's what you were saying earlier, though. It's technique more than it is speed. You got a bunch of kind of what you call oafs running around, right? He's fine. He's got good skills. We've seen that play out. I think it's going to be fine. I don't think it's a major concern, but that's exactly what I was going to go to is quit bringing the ball down, quit going to the dribble. If you get it underneath the basket, go. Right.
Yeah.
And definitely don't put it where those guards can come get it, especially if you're not strong enough to hold on to it, which he's not, right? It's just part of being a rookie. So I thought defensively, though, dude, that one block he had, I looked at my buddy and I was like, I did not know he could jump that high without breaking his legs. He's showing some athleticism. So I've been really impressed with Edie all around. I'm not super concerned, but I wanted to hear what you had to say on it, too.
For sure. But I got a question for you. I want to answer true or false. That's all.
Yeah.
The Grizzlies are not better than the Warriors from Andrew the GOAT.
That's a real question.
Andrew, get out of here, man. We appreciate you hanging out.
Be blessed, brother.
Yeah, you're not
many
being,
blessings upon you and yours.
You're not being rude, but yeah.
Many blessings upon you.
F the Warriors.
The GOAT, Andrew the GOAT. Sorry, not just Andrew.
Today we smoking that Draymond pack, no doubt. And you can't do anything about it.
Justice. Janky Jenkins justice. Janky Jenkins justice.
We're gonna have a fight on what we're gonna title this show tonight because Nate wants to name it Janky Jenkins Justice, and I want to name it Draymond Pack. It might be 50.
Make it a poll.
Gotcha. I'll do it. In our first break. I'll put it in the poll because I don't have time to do all that. Nate, I'm producing and hosting. Leave me alone. But I do want to spend just maybe a minute or so. Man, Drew's already on your side. I will say that this is a good win, and coming off a long break, a lot of times you can look as a team a little rusty for sure. And so at that point, I think anytime that you have a good response off of a long break, it's going to be beneficial for you. The Grizzlies have a tough stretch coming up. They really do. They've had a great break. I think everybody's been able to get a little bit more healthier. We obviously had the jaw injury tonight, but I think overall, I think we'll be better moving forward.
Yeah, I mean the jaw thing. Obviously, you want to see him be healthy. You hate that after that break, he immediately comes back and has nothing happen. But he was listed on the injury report, which drove me crazy. I hate when you come back from a break and guys are all of a sudden hurt. Drives me insane. Even though Marcus Smart, there's a lot of rumors out there. I have zero inside knowledge. I'm wondering if we should speculate or not, but maybe that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, there's definitely speculation out there. I have not heard anything new other than what I have heard. I think what I've shared on him here. The only teams that what
I've shared on him.
I know. Yeah, sorry, my list got me. The only thing I've seen or heard so far is there are talks with the Nets, which everybody understands. The Hawks are the other one, and then the Pelicans. That's the only three teams that I've heard. There is dialogue, but that could that there could be every other team, right? But real true dialogue, without a shadow of a doubt, I do know that those are happening. Just because the guy that I get my information through always vets with two people, and he always shares that information. He never shares information unless he vets it twice, and so that's all it is. So, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm not going to get into it. Just like Brian's saying, there's no trade talk tonight. Tonight's going to be a fun night, just overall. But anyway,
do what I want, Brian.
Never Brian. But tonight, listen, a great night overall for the Grizzlies. The number, thank you all. The number on the show has been awesome as well. So if you're watching over on Twitter, join us over on YouTube. You can see so many of these comments that you're seeing pop up on the screen are actually comments that are coming from Twitter. So join us over there. Coming from YouTube. So join us if you're on Twitter over there, and if you're on YouTube, do me a favor. Drop the chat down, hit the like button. What that does, I promise you, it boosts up the show real quick. If more than 14 people hit the like button all within a certain amount of time, whatever. It's the metrics. I don't know. I didn't make them up either. I just know the number is 14 for whatever reason. So if 14 of you go ahead and hit the like button now, our show tells your friends that you're watching it. And so we'll get a little bit more likes. And so I'd appreciate that. But real quick, before we get to Grizz Trivia, we're going to take a break. We do have a new friend, a new sponsor, we'll say, of the show. So let's go ahead and hit that before we kind of get to our Grizz Trivia. But as soon as this is done, we have Grizz Trivia.
I think one thing that separates Reed Realtors from other businesses is that we're truly a family.
Life is all about relationships, and relationships are first for us. And being that small family business is something to the core that we will never lose.
We have been longtime friends with the Jaquezes and have seen the great work they're doing all around the city. And when it came time to sell, there was no question on who we would go with.
Our experience with Reed Realtors has been amazing. From beginning to end, Melvin made this process so easy and fun.
We do a lot of life together, and when we bring on new clients, in a lot of cases, we end up adding them to the family to where we begin to then do life with them as well.
Because it's a relationship built on trust. You have to trust that they're not just trying to sell you something for a commission. They have to trust you that you're going to use them, you're going to follow the contract.
This is not a one-stop transaction. It's someone that we feel that has been, committed to our lives and devoted to our lives, and they want what's best for us.
My only goal is to make you happy throughout this process, and I want to meet those goals, and I have high standards for myself. And I'm going to do everything I can to make this go smoothly, and you're going to be happy at the end of it.
All right, we look like we lost Nate. Nate took did you take a break while we had that? We're going to have to work on the volume. I feel like the volume was down on that overall on the commercial, but shout out to Reed Realtors for sure. Great family. So if you're looking to sell your home, check them out, man. They are good people for sure. But let's go ahead and get into, look at all this work that your boy did. This is a full page of information. So let's get to the game, or get to the Grizz Trivia real quick. Jaren Jackson Jr. is doing something that nobody else in the entire league is doing right now. Did you know that?
I did not.
He is averaging 20-plus points, 1.5 steals, 1.5 or more blocks per game.
Pretty impressive.
Since 1999-2000 season, it has only happened 11 other times, Nate. Can you name the 7 players that have done this? So since 2000 or since the 99-2000 season, there have been 11 other times this happened, but 7 players have done it 11 other times. So Jaren Jackson Jr. is currently doing it right now. He is averaging 20 plus points, 1.5 steals, 1.5 blocks per game. Now, an information that I wanted to share. Those players, every one of those seasons, those 11 seasons that's happened, every single one of those guys went to the All-Star game.
Okay. So 11 times since what year?
99-2000.
99-2000.
And King Meeks, this will be longer than 4 minutes.
All right. Giannis
did it in 16-17.
Okay. So there's one. Is Jaren one of the 11?
No, he's never done it.
Okay. AD
did it 4 times. He did it in 14-15, 17-18, the 18-19, and 19-20. He did it for 3 seasons in a row. So shout out to AD. He's actually the last person who's done it. He's the last person who did it in 19-20.
So he accounts for 4 of these.
He accounts for 4 of these. So you're only naming 7 people, right? He
So
did it.
got 1, 2, 3. So we've accounted for 5 so far.
No. It happened 11 times. 7 players did it.
Oh, 7 players did it. Okay.
Yeah, so he did it 4 times, right? So that's the other.
Misunderstood. Apologies.
Yep. Not a big deal.
Right, so we got 2 out of the 7. 99.
One shocked me. I'm going to give you one. This shocked me. I thought he would be on here. LeBron. Not on here.
I wasn't going to say LeBron.
I
I would
thought
have gotten there probably.
I thought because of all the steals that he just didn't get on the blocks. I think his highest one was like 1 point something one time, 1.2. But majority of the time he averages like 0.8 blocks. And so that's why it's never happened. The biggest thing is the points, and doing both of these or all 3 is tough.
Duncan?
Tim Duncan never did it.
David Robinson
never did it.
Is another one a Grizzly?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Dang. Kobe?
Lottie Divac. No. But great throwback.
Kobe didn't do it, right?
Kobe
I
never
assume
did it.
blocks would keep him from doing it.
Yep.
Yeah, that was loud. Thank you for not doing that. Whew. Yeah, chat. Go get a drink. It's gonna be a minute. I got 2 out of 7. Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard did do it in 2011-12.
Boom.
I think I just saw Drew come up with that one.
Nice.
Dwight Howard. I don't know if anybody else has done it. I've kind of not been able to look through all these. But somebody has named one other guy who's the only other guy who did it twice since 2009, since the 99-2000 season. And I have a bonus, by the way.
I feel like this guy sneaky got blocks. I feel like I've had this one before. Was it Dirk?
Dirk, no.
There's some weird thing Dirk did that I was like, I didn't think he would ever get there. But I can't remember what that stat was. Blocks and steals.
Anderson Varejao did not average 20 points. So it's the 20 points over
Joakim Noah.
over 1.5 steals, 1.5 blocks. And Wade did not do it, Art.
Vucci?
No.
Okay. It's not his style of game.
Drew's done pretty well at this so far. He's feeling himself.
Drew has? I don't have the chat open, so I can't see what he's saying.
If you don't have the chat open, then let me tell who got it right.
Yeah, I don't have it open.
Smooth Southpaw got it right. Somebody else got it right before him. I saw that as well. Art got it right.
Embiid?
Embiid has not done it.
Okay. There's no way, right? Did Andre Drummond ever average 20 points?
So that's the issue. So Andre Drummond was averaging hold on, I have it right in front of me. So Andre Drummond wasn't averaging the 20 points. He was averaging 17.3 and 17.7. And the latest guy to do it was Jonathan Isaac, but he had 11.9.
Blake Griffin.
Here's the list. Blake Griffin did not.
DeAndre Jordan
did not.
I assume he wouldn't get the 20 points either.
The issue is the 99-2000. Since the turn of the century, that's kind of the issue. Is a lot of theirs was before.
Also, I could barely speak at this point, but is it? I'm gonna ask for a hint. Is it mostly forwards or is it mostly going to be centers, like traditional centers?
I would say 2 and 2, right? Because you got 2 and 2. One surprise, one shocked me. I thought I went and double checked it because I didn't think I went 2 different sites to double check it because I didn't believe it.
Lamar Odom.
So
T-Mac.
Tracy McGrady. That's the one I could not believe. Tracy McGrady did it 2000, 2001. And he had an incredible year with blocks and steals. So that was a great one. Tracy McGrady.
He's been in my head, but I was like, I don't think he'd have gotten there with blocks. But he's so athletic. It makes sense. Okay, Vince Carter.
Nope.
Okay. I was like, I can test my luck.
All right, so let me go with a little bit of I'll give you some hints. This guy did it in 2000 or 1999, 2000. He also did it in 97, 98, 96, 97, 94, 95. Wow. He was a great college player.
Great college player? Was he not a great NBA player?
He was a great NBA player. He did this 4 times total.
Great college player. I don't care.
Not good with timeouts. I know that.
Chris Webber?
Chris Webber.
Wow.
Chris Webber did it 1999 and 2000.
Man,
shout out
also
to Steve Webb.
That.
All right, so that
Shaq.
Really, who? Shaq did not.
Okay.
So these other 2 guys, I don't want to give too much away. One of them was a teammate of another guy, and the other guy literally looks like the praying mantis.
Was it a Wallace? Either one of the Wallaces?
No, Ben Wallace never. He only had 7.6 points the year he did it.
Looks like a praying mantis. What are you talking about? I got no idea what you're talking about. Well, I've got both the forwards, so now we're looking at centers, right?
This guy. No, this was I think Weber was forward center. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of going back and forth. So this guy reminds me a lot of a much shorter Wemby, right? Because he was just so long and lanky. He was better known for his time with the Phoenix Suns.
Oh.
So if you're just joining us, Jaren is a guy who's doing something that's not been done, all season by anybody else. It's not been done since 2019. Was it 1920? Sorry, the 2019-2020 season. But it has been. He's averaging 20 points, 1.5 rebound. I'm sorry, 1.5 steals, 1.5 blocks.
Give me the name.
King Meeks and Smooth Southpaw both just got it. It is Sean Marion.
Dang it. I thought that might be who it is.
And this guy, I can't believe he's a teammate of the other guy on one of these other guys on here.
That should be another guy on here?
Yes. And he's incredible. They did it. Yeah. He did it 2 different teams. But one year he did it. One of the 2 years he did it.
Was Webb? Sean Marion.
teammate. Huh?
Was with Sean Marion?
No.
Okay. we have AD, Giannis, T-Mac.
He has a great nickname.
That didn't help. A lot of guys have good nicknames. Chris Webber.
He was AD's teammate.
He was 80. Oh, Boogie?
Boogie Cousins.
Nah, there we go.
So DeMarcus Cousins did it.
Okay. Dang it, I see it. That's bad. Now I get it.
I've always thought he was a praying mantis, like because the way he shoots and everything.
That's classic.
But DeMarcus Cousins, Boogie Cousins did it 2017, 18, and then with Sacramento before then, 2014, 15. So listen, it was
a good one.
It was very much in depth. But the extra question I have, the guy who's done this the most ever. It happened before the turn of the century, but the most ever that I could find, I could be wrong. There could be somebody else that's like randomly back when they played with peach baskets, but a guy in the more recent era that everybody knows. You watched him on TV, I'd assume, at some point. The guy who's done this the most ever. Drew says Dr. J.
Is it Dr. J?
Dr. J, Julius Erb, did it 9 times. He's not the leader. This guy did it for 12 times, and he did it for 12 seasons in a row.
Wilt?
Not Wilt.
Okay. Bill Russell?
Nope. You're going way too far back.
Oh, way too far back?
This guy's a champion. They had some of the best old school jerseys ever. He was incredible late into his career in the 90s.
Kareem?
Nope. And he has an incredible nickname.
I really thought it'd be Kareem. Late into the 90s, his career late into the 90s. Incredible nickname. I don't know, dog. I'm Grizz Trivia out.
Hakeem, the Dream,
Olajuwon.
Dude, he did this 12 seasons in a row, 85, 86 first season, and he ended 96, 97. Incredible through the 90s, incredible late 80s. But Hakeem Olajuwon, like, shout out to the Dream. That guy was absolutely incredible. So yeah. So anyway, that was a very long one tonight. That was for you. That was for you, King Meeks.
Woo. Yeah, I'm tired.
Yep. I'm spent. All right. Well, enough about Art's got his jersey. Shout out to you. All right. So that was fun. We did a little bit more extended version just because I want to have a little bit more fun tonight. So we've gone through this a lot, but we're going to look at going into the Hawks. The Grizzlies take on the Hawks next, which is Saturday. And so there's a game, and then they go and travel to Atlanta. So let's go ahead and with the help of Ryan, we'll look ahead.
Let's look ahead to Saturday night's matchup at the Atlanta Hawks for our Memphis Grizzlies. When you think of the Atlanta Hawks, you immediately think of offense. What if I told you actually this year this was a very average offensive team? They're actually 21st in the NBA in offensive rating. Now, sure, with the Hawks, if you let them get loose on offense, then it could be a nail-biter, a close game, a high-scoring affair. But I think if the Grizzlies, with their solid defense, can control Trae Young, who I believe is leading the league in assists per game at 12, and keep them below 112 to 115 points, then this is a likely win for the Grizzlies and a relatively easy one for them. Kind of an indicator for that, I mentioned before Basketball Reference's expected record. The Hawks are currently 14-13. Basketball Reference expected record metric says they actually should be 11-16. So this is a team so far that has overperformed versus expectations. So this is a good spot for the Grizzlies, depending on what happens tonight against the Golden State Warriors, to maybe either get right after a loss to the Warriors or continue a nice start to a winning streak for them. Besides anything else with the Hawks, I just have to give a special shout out to Dyson Daniels. I absolutely loved him in the NBA draft. I believe he's leading the league in steals at almost 3 steals per game. So see if he tries to hound Ja, if Ja is actually playing this game, or if he tries to give, Desmond Bane or whoever the ball carrier is for the Grizzlies a lot of trouble. He is just a pesky defender, and what us Grizzlies wish Marcus Smart still was. But looking to Saturday, I think this will be a nice win for the Grizzlies. Could be a high-scoring affair. As long as they hold the Atlanta Hawks to a kind of minimum offensive effort, I think this is a likely cruising win for the Grizzlies on Saturday.
Wow, Marcus Smart taking shots.
Yum.
I like it. I honestly, that's the first time I've actually heard it, because I was so late putting it together. So shout out to Ryan for doing that. Appreciate that.
Nope.
Art says, did you catch my question? Or I did not. So put it back in here if you don't mind, or hit me on Twitter in my DMs, and I'll be sure to make sure I check it out. But real quick, before we get moving on to the Hawks, make sure you check out the post-game bounce. If you don't know what that is, just go check it out on Twitter. It will be over at BCM Grizzlies, the Bluff City Media, with BCM Grizzlies. Drew's got it tonight, so I don't know if he's had a loss yet that he's had to do. So we keep winning when Drew is doing the post-game bounce. So tonight overall was good. The Grizzlies now go on to take on an Atlanta team that, as Ryan was talking about, it's a very average. Like, we're used to thinking like they're going to be flying up and down the court, but now it's really just Trae Young and Jalen Johnson. I know he's talking about Dyson Daniels doing a little bit of the defensive end, but then they have Clint Capella, who has kind of just morphed into one of just a mid player, in my opinion. So does anything worry you at all about the Hawks?
I mean, listen, they've got a couple of guys. If they get hot from 3, they can make your life hard. They have good players too.
Yeah,
truly. But the Grizzlies have done a really, really good job of locking in defensively this year and not letting the 3 ball hurt them like they have in years past. They're doing really, really well defending the 3-point line, which has always been a bit of a Achilles heel for them. So not really. They show up and play their brand of basketball. Feel really good about it. Obviously, you feel better if you know John Morant's healthy, but even without him, nobody in the league has anything for Jaren Jackson Jr.
Nobody.
He's a cheat code. So as long as Jaren goes up and doesn't decide to smack 2 guys in 2 minutes, then we're probably going to be okay. I'm not super worried about it. They are a team that can get hot. You can't just blow them off or anything, but Grizzlies should come off with, like Ryan said, I think it should be a pretty in-hand win.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, they lost tonight to the Spurs. The Spurs beat them 133-126. So incredible game out of that. It was in overtime, and so that was a little bit more an extended game. If you look at their starters, it's I'm going to say this how I think it sounds, but I know that I'm wrong. But it's Zachary Ricochet. I'm pretty sure that's how you're not supposed to say it, but I was told that at one time. But he starts for them. Jalen Johnson, 39 minutes tonight. Incredible. But 22 and 9 out of him. Clint Capella was 10 and 9, 22 minutes. Trae Young, 23 and 16 assists. So he's obviously passing and dishing a lot.
Yeah.
But he's going to deal with Jalen Wells all over him is what he's going to do. If not, as we could see, if Ja Morant's healthy, Ja Morant played incredible defense tonight.
Yeah.
Dyson Daniels, Larry Nance Jr., DeAndre Hunter, Bogdanovich, and then I think that's pretty much it. I don't know who V. Kreksky. Yeah, that guy. I don't know who that is.
Go ahead.
There's a J before a C. How do you get there?
Whiskey.
It's a KREJCI. How do you say JCI?
Carefully.
Anyway, so that guy played 20 minutes. I have no idea if he is actually real. Like, I don't know if that's like AI just messing up on the app.
Who are you?
But overall, they lost tonight. So They're going back home, so they had to do a quick 1-game road trip to San Antonio. Now they're going back after this long break back home, and so we'll see. Smooth southpaw Jalen Johnson's who I wanted in that draft. There may be some character issues at Duke. It wasn't character issues at all. He just did not develop as like his offense just was not developed at all. He was very skinny. I believe he ended up going late. He fell into his draft, and so it was just because he just wasn't developed. And he was completely a project. And he's been in the league. I think he's been in the league for 3 seasons now, maybe. He's 23. And so let's see how many years he's been in the league. So this is 4th season. Last year was the first year that he ever actually started playing a little bit. And so it took a little bit for his body to kind of fill in. And so him now being in his 4th year, his shooting is there now, finally. Like, I get that, he's not an outside shooter. Like, he's just not. He's a guy who relies a lot on athleticism. He's who everybody thinks what Zaire wanted to be. Like, he's that I wanted over Zaire. I wanted Murphy over Zaire. I would have picked you over Zaire at that point. There's a lot of people I would have picked over that. So it is what it is. We missed out on Jalen Johnson, but he'll show out for sure because of how athletic he is in that game.
Yeah. No, he's pretty awesome. So
that's it, man. I don't have anything. What else do you have? Do you have anything on the game tonight or anything that you
have? Shout out to Karl Anthony Towns and his return to Minnesota. That's going really well for him. If anybody hasn't seen that box score, go check it out. I don't know if you should turn the game on, but
update it real quick. What is it?
All right. In that case, let me pull it back up. It is 84 to 59 in the third quarter, and Cat is 8 for 10 from the floor, 5 for 5 from 3 with 27 and 16.
Sheesh.
That's a good return.
Yeah. Crazy.
Poor Minnie. Sorry, Minnesota. Yeah. That's sad. That's sad for you.
The big purr. Not a good night for him. But I do see that we have an issue in the chat. Our poll. I said the Draymond pack. Nobody likes it. 9% of you like it. Thank you to the 9%. 30% like Janky Jenkins Justice. That's only 39%. 61
30 more than you.
No, it's 21 exactly. But 50 for the city is at 61%. Are you okay with naming 50 for the city?
Yep.
All right.
The chat hath spoken.
The chat has spoken. All right. Before we do anything, a new segment to end the show. Very quick. What you got on this? We're going to name an X factor for the next game going against the Hawks. Who is your guy that you expect to be the X factor in this next game?
Quit doing this. Just throwing stuff on me last second. I'm completely unprepared. I'm going to look like a fool.
I will go. I would love to go. Thanks for allowing me to go first. I'm going to go and say Santi Aldama. I think that he is going to be good in this game. Just the way that Atlanta plays, more free flow. There's nobody that can really stop him. The only guy that's going to be out there really is Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson does not want to play a lot of defense. I promise you that. And so at that point, I really do think that we're going to look at a guy in Santi Aldama being a big key contributor, especially after the night like tonight. We've gone crazy talking about him. And so the X factor for sure, I think it is Santi Aldama. Yeah. Smooth Southpaw. This is the Grizz 91 version of Skydog. Yeah, listen, we came up with it randomly. And I think this is our 3rd time doing it now. Thanks. I guess the other time was Ryan. But
first time for me.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's not first time.
I'm sorry. Maybe we only did it with Ryan. But, yeah, so you're just naming somebody. Come on, man.
I'm gonna go Jalen Wells. I think guard play is big against the Hawks. I'm gonna go Jalen Wells. And we do count defensive stats here. So we're gonna go with Jalen Wells. Defense counts. We all care.
All right, I'm gonna go Santi. You're gonna go Jalen Wells. Should be a fun night overall, because going down to Atlanta. Hopefully the guys don't get into trouble. So it will be a good night overall. But I do have one question before we get out of here, Nate. The chat has a question. Alan wants to know, what snow globe will Nate bring in the next game?
We only have one snow globe. It is a snow globe of truth, and it will remain here when I fly back to Tennessee. There will be no snow globe unless I can find one just randomly for the show. Yeah. So
and you're traveling soon, and as Art's saying, the Hawks are good. The Hawks are good, yes. I just think that we match up very well with them.
Agreed.
And as he was talking about earlier, you control the pace of the game for sure, because it will be a game that if you kind of let Trey kind of get their team downhill a little bit, he'll feed people open. Their team gets rolling a little bit. I just don't think that they have the outside shooting that really would hurt the Grizzlies. I know Trey can shoot, but they don't have the other guys that are incredible from the outside. I know Bogey or Bogdanovich, the other Bogey, can get going a little bit, but he's been still working his way up this season just overall. But anyway, I think it's a game the Grizzlies can still be very good against because of their type of play that Atlanta does. I think the Grizzlies match up very well, but we'll see. But hopefully no crazy trips to Magic City. But Nate is traveling next game.
Why can't they get wings?
So Nate, you're traveling, right? So there's no show on the weekends. Everybody knows we don't do the show on the weekends. So no Hawks game Saturday. Monday we're going to do a game. I don't know about you if you can do it yet, right?
No.
Okay, so we're iffy on. I will be here. I'll be here on Monday. Nate could or could not be here. So either way, it is the holidays. We will not have one on the 26th. I'm going to have a lot of family in that night, and so we will not have a show on the 26th. So we'll see everybody for Christmas, before then on the 23rd on Monday night. But just wanted to let everybody know the kind of surrounding these holidays is very tough. And then we will definitely not do one I'll try to do one on the 27th. So it's the Friday night game. And then that Tuesday, Tuesday is the night of New Year's Eve. And so we'll not do that as well. Monday is against the Clippers at home. So should be a good one. So anyway, all right, that's all we got. Crazy good night for the Grizzlies, a 51-point win over our hated Draymond Green led Golden State Warriors. But that's all we're going to have tonight. We'll see you all for sure on Monday. I will be here. Nate could be here, could not be here. If he's not, I'll see what Ryan's got going on. And if he's busy, then I'll surprise you with somebody. We'll have a fun night overall. But that's all we got. We'll see you all Monday. Be nice and tell your friends.